Okay, so our favorite movie was A Walk in the Clouds because it spoke of the passionate yearning of two destined to be one. Keanu Reeves, he precisely articulated what Alex is to me when he told his love, "You are the heir to me." That is what Alex is to me, my heir, my everything. I always said he was my E because he completes me. But back in the day, people would call me M. And so I called him E because I always said he completes me. I first met Alex under the bell tower at Miracosta College. Yep. My best friend Puanani said, "You got to meet my friend Alec." It was my first and last literal double take as we both fell into each other's eyes. Love at first sight, it does happen. And it happened to us that day in May of 1977. God, he was beautiful. He was my hunk and I was his nerd. That was before nerd had any positive qualities, especially for a girl, right? But I was also the Hapahauli Polynesian dancer he asked God for. Yeah, the boys and I heard him tell this story so many times of how he was sitting at the bus stop on his way home from Uni High School in San Diego. And he prayed and asked God, he said, "I'm lonely." And he prayed and he asked God for a Hapa girl that loved God, was smart, and oh yeah, danced. We've driven by this bus stop so many times and heard that story. I fell fast into the well of his love. One day shortly after falling in love like that, he sat with me on the grass by the gym and he nervously said, "I need to tell you something. There's someone else in my life." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you have a girlfriend?" He said, No, it's Jesus." And at that, he had my heart forever. At 17, he loved God and was willing to lose a smoking hot, smart, dancing hop, a girlfriend because of that love. It meant his relationship with God transcended religion. And I eagerly replied, "Me too." That day, Alex set the foundation for our family and our life together. The passionate yearning of two destined to be one sounds so poetic. Well, it becomes less poetic after 40-ish, when it started to mean things like, "Oh, you have a good right knee, I have a good left knee. Oh, we're one." A lot of you know what I mean, right? God did weave us together beautifully. I was logic and you were love, my love. He was a beautiful part of me. We had so many conversations where I'd say, "But what they did wasn't right." And you'd reply, "But it's okay. It doesn't matter." You'd consistently choose to look past faults and just love. And you spent your lifetime teaching me that. I realized in the end, the greatest of these is love, not revenge, not having to be right. Love is gentle and kind, putting others' needs before your own. And that was my Alex. He was selfless, which made him easy to fall in love with, but so hard to lose. He was also a warrior and protected us fiercely, but you somehow always did it without destroying others along the way. You would just gather us up and walk away in love. Two becoming one. You were the E to my M and completed me. You were constantly taking my thoughts and making them a reality, be it a landscape or a kitchen or a remodel. You were amazing at what you could do and build. My original major was architecture, so I was constantly designing, and he would construct all those things that I would design. I played piano, but he made me a worship leader. In the early days, he picked up a guitar and played. It was just him and me, but as our sons grew, you made us into a worship team. You were constantly making my desires and dreams a reality. Two becoming one. The boys have a tech issue, I got it. But if they started bleeding or barfing, oh my God, Alex to the rescue. I do not have the capacity to understand or share Alex's expertise in the medical field as a surgical specialist, or a medical sales rep over the years, but I've heard great stories from all his colleagues. Thank you guys for giving me insight into his greatness in the OR, and more especially his greatness in your hearts. He loved you all deeply, loved working with you. Retiring was so painful for him, and he so wanted to be able to return to work again. I know your names from all the great stories of you working together and loving my Alex. Thank you for helping me transition into a caregiver and coaching me through all things medical as I cared for him. The last part of our lives was poured out on tens of thousands of Marines at Camp Pendleton and MCRD. Alex personified many qualities of God. And as we got to know more and more Marines, we noticed a common theme between them is the lack of a good father figure. It's like 10%. We'd ask them, thousands out of them, how many of you had a good father figure in your life? And it would be like, so few hands go up. It was heartbreaking. So a song like Good, Good Father didn't make much sense to them. Many came to know Alex as a good father as we adopted them and took them home. In God's house, there are many rooms. In our house, there are many futons. And a lot of you slept on those and still do today. Hoorah. One of our greatest blessings in life will always be your love. People around us saw it as sacrifice, packing 2 trucks up with instruments and QSC gear, waking up at 4 a.m. to drive to base, unpack, set up, play, pray, pack up, unpack at 4 p.m. at SOI, play, pray, pack up, drive home, unpack, crash. But we see it all as gain. We gained the love of Marines who were willing to lay down their lives to protect a country they love. Warriors, hoorah. We treasure your love. Thank you for standing guard over our family these last days. I see you, we see you, he sees you. Your brother John Harrop, Marines, stood watch over us the last few weeks and on his knees held us together. I know Dad wants me to thank you for your love and your protection over me and the family over these difficult times. So many of you here loved us through this time, leaving sweet kisses at our door, Claude, stopping by and visiting John, all of you. There's so many of you, sending food, Beth Ann taking over for me at work and pushing the bar really high up there. But you gave me hours to spend holding and caring for my love, so thank you. Thank you, QSC team. You're woven, as you can see, into every part of our story, from what happened on base at Camp Pendleton to nurturing us through our family breaking apart. Sean Walsh for throttling back SimSpace and focusing us on what's important. My little brother, Richard Brown, carrying us through all of this and talking me off the ledge. Amy and Samantha for all the cards, blankets, the infamous Sammy pillow that Alex would panic about if he couldn't pull it close to him. Nicole and Ainsley for driving up and dancing hula. So many of you, Alan, Becky, for dropping everything and coming up and taking over and doing everything for us. There's so many of you that did so much. Danelle, guys, family, Ohana. We appreciate all of you. Seeing your faces here today, we understand and feel your love for us. We love you back. I want to thank a God that prepared a heaven for us and caught my husband. There have been kisses from heaven and signs when I needed them most, like 2 days ago, and I was trying to put the video and stuff together. I was just destroyed, fell apart again, started screaming, wanting to know if he was still with me. And all of a sudden I heard thunder in Southern California. Thunder. I was like, whoa. And it started pouring and it turned into hail. The ground was white where I was standing. But a full moon sitting perfectly in Alex's favorite spot in the trees, and an overwhelming sense of his presence with me. I know you're a good, good father. And even though we didn't get the miracle we were believing for, we know you ultimately caught my love, and he is whole now and not in pain. I know you love me and will ease my pain and catch me too soon. So here we are again, my love, back at 18, with that passionate yearning for two destined to be one. At 3:28 a.m. on November 24th, 45 years of weaving together of two started ripping apart. I am broken and just am as I wait for my E to become me again. One day, hopefully not long from now, our sons, daughters, and grandkids will celebrate me home, and I will feel your hand grabbing mine as you whisk me away and we dance on streets of gold in heaven together again. At that time, I will be me. I will be complete, and my heart will finally mend. Until that day, my love, I will count down each and every breath. You are the heir to me.